Chip, one thing that Mac was actually just saying was that Jordan Chip's going to start getting more involved. I know he had the 22-yard catch the other day, or
Yeah.
I guess last week or whatever. But I guess in that same vein, how is that starting to, play out as far as bringing him along? I know we've talked about him a lot. It feels like, but yeah, just kind of how's that going along as far as getting
About Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jordan's shown that he can make some plays when he gets the opportunity. I think, you get into a situation where you got some older players, Nate and those guys and Kobe that kind of played in front of him. That's the only thing that's limited his reps, but he's improved. I know early on in fall camp, he got banged up a little bit, so he was kind of slow starting the season, but I think you'll see him get more involved as the season goes. And, he's shown that. He made a couple big catches, I know, yesterday, a couple weeks ago against Georgia Tech. So we really like him. I think his future's really bright here. And, it's one of those things, too, where I don't think the moment's ever too big for him. He's pretty mature for a freshman. I think that's a huge part of playing early is having that confidence. And he's shown that he does have that, and excited about him for sure. Yeah, I think, we were really, first of all, getting healthy. This time of year you play 7 weeks and, until you have a bye week. So it's been good from that standpoint. We did a lot of getting our young guys reps, that the Jordan Ships of the world and those younger guys that have played some or spot played us some, with some injuries here and there. But I think for us, we're still, trying to focus on the fundamental things, of being consistent and protecting the ball, which we've done a better job of lately. No self-inflicted wounds, so to speak, no pre-snap penalties, none of that, and really kind of just old-fashioned roll up your sleeves, go to work, and have 3 really good days of practice, and that was our goal. I think that was the key, and also get a head start on Virginia. I think you always want to do that, but and I think from a coordinator standpoint, you're trying to look, okay, Virginia, this is kind of who they are and what they look like, and what do we have that's kind of our base offense that we can work on this week, blocking and tackling and executing, and that's kind of what we did in those 3 days. And then our older guys, some of those guys got a chance to, I think, heal up a little bit, and we took some reps off those guys.
Chip, with the last 3 games, Omarion, aside from that 71-yard run, hasn't had many explosives, and I think there's 27 runs of 1 yard or less. I just asked Mac about it. He was talking about the injuries, how banged up the line has been, and Randy not being available. What would you attribute that to the last few weeks? And do you think the open period, with getting healthier, maybe you're going to see something?
Yeah, I think all of it contributes. Probably, I would say that he's by far the guy that I'm sure that everybody, when we play, they say, hey, we got to do whatever we do to stop him, which is, I think, allowed Jacoby to make some plays down the field. But I think when you look at different, O-line play is so, they have to kind of get their rhythm together, right? They have to kind of play beside each other, and I think some of that is probably when you throw a couple young guys in there with Aiden being banged up and so forth. But at the end of the day, I think, we've got to do a better job of making sure that our first and second down plays don't leave us second long, third long, and I think that's what we really tried to work on the past week. Omarion's one of those guys that he's going to draw a lot of attention. So we got to figure out the best way each week, I think, to take advantage of that. And that's helped us open up some passes down the field for sure, play fakes and so forth. But I think getting that continuity back with our O-line, hopefully that's going to help us.
We've seen the last 2 games how you can use Jacoby in that sense. So the quarterback draws and he falls forward.
Yeah.
How much can you use that moving forward to maybe also help Omarion, because they have to be worried more, just not one guy, but
I think you're right. I think that's a huge thing when a quarterback has some mobility. Been spoiled around here with the last 2 guys before him that both can make plays with their feet, and Jacoby did a nice job of that last couple of weeks on some design stuff, and then some stuff that wasn't designed. When the pass protection or they cover or the pass pro breaks down, he's done a nice job. And really what I like is that he's not taking a lot of sacks. He's throwing the ball away when he should, and he's gotten down on the ground and tried to avoid big hits as much as he can. That's what you worry about some, but I think he's a lot better athlete than people give him credit for. He's a guy at this time of year that they're all banged up a little bit, and I'm sure he is, but this bye week couldn't have come at a better time.
Chip, with Bryson and Julian both being out this week and potentially longer, who do you see stepping up in sort of the second tight end role behind Cope?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit by committee. I think this is a big week for Jake. I think, obviously he's a guy that's older and has played some, and he's played a little here and there for us, but I think Jake brings some confidence and some stability in that room for sure, especially when we want to be in 12 personnel or just to rest Cope some. I think that's huge. I think Ryan's another guy that could fill in some too as a true freshman. We know he's going to be a really, really good player. He's really talented, but his reps have been limited just because of some older guys in front. But I think those two guys will have to fill that void in some capacity. It's going to be really hard. Bryson's a fabulous player and really brings a lot to the table. But I think we're going to have ways, maybe with some unique personnel groups, to hopefully offset that some.
Might be a silver lining to view this as sort of a preview of next year when Bryson is potentially off to the NFL, right?
Well, maybe, but we're trying to win every game this year. So I don't know about silver lining. Anytime you lose one of the best players in the country, in my mind, it's not an exciting thing. But at the end of the day, I'm very confident in Jake, very confident in Ryan. I think those are some opportunities now that they'll get.
I was just going to ask, Bryson was in until the very last play of the game.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are determined. When did he get injured in the game?
Yeah, it was early. Testament to him. He's tough. I mean, he played basically from what I understand the whole game, really with the injury. And so, a testament to how tough he is and how much he wants to be on the field. And, I think it's one of those things that it's just going to take a little time to heal. I don't. No, not specifically. Yeah, I don't believe that was it. And I'm not sure exactly what play. It's been a while, so.
Chip, I know you were saying you feel like Jacoby's done a pretty good job of not taking sacks, but I mean, it seems like he's taking a lot of shots though when he's he hangs in there. I mean, he doesn't flinch from getting hit in terms of hanging in there to deliver the ball.
Yep.
I mean, I would think these last 5 games you want to try to keep him cleaner than you can. Is that one of the big concerns with him, is that he's taking too much?
Definitely. I don't want him to get hit ever. But if you watch the game, whatever level, those guys are going to get hit some. I mean, that's part of it. But we got to do our job to limit how many times. And, and there's a lot of things that go into that. Sometimes the ball should have come out and it didn't. Sometimes we get beat at a certain spot, whether it's running back or O-line. And sometimes they fool us and bring more than we thought they were bringing, or whatever the case may be. And that's why the quarterback is so important for him to be able to operate and change the protections and get them slid the right way and all those different things that go along with it. And he's dramatically improved in that as much as he could, because now he's just played more, so he's got more reps. And I think that's part of the growing experience. When you get young quarterbacks, if you think about not the freshmen, but the rookies in the NFL this year, Drake being one of them, those are the things that concern those guys at that level as well. Do we really want to expose this guy that early? And, he doesn't have a lot of experience, and it's the same way in college. I think when you have young quarterbacks, that's important. And again, maybe the common fan or whatever wants to blame, hey, it's the O-line's fault. That's not always true. And it takes the whole unit working together. And that's, I think, the beauty about football is it's never just, it's a team game, and we all contribute to that. And so hopefully that will improve. I think there's times, too, that we have to throw the ball away, understand the play's over, throw it away, move on, play the next one. Sometimes those are the best plays you can make. Hey, we called a certain play, we didn't get the look that we thought we were getting, so it's not a good look, so let's throw it away and go play the next play. And all those things are learning experiences for him.
Just to follow up on that.
Yep.
Are those, when you guys are going through the film, are those sort of the conversations? I'm sure you're talking about everything, but are there moments that you're pointing out, hey, you didn't have to take this shot that you took?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you pointing that out?
Every year. Last year with Drake, it was, hey, don't jump the guy, right? Run out of bounds, slide, whatever. Same conversations. And, what's fun about these guys is they're smart guys. And as soon as, they'll watch the film before they meet with me. And I'll get to it and, I should have done, whatever. So they understand. But, again, understanding, drawing it on a board, talking through it, and then doing it when the play snap, it's a totally different thing. The speed of the game's fast, and it's a lot to process. And, again, experience is a huge factor, and he's gaining that experience for sure. And I think you've seen his growth if you really sit down and look and study, what he's done since he's been thrown into this role here and become our starter. I think you've seen him grow in that area for sure.
Mac was talking about all the injuries that the offensive line has had to deal with throughout this early part of the season, plus with Coach Clements being out for a period of time. Does it feel like after the bye, with a lot of those guys getting healthy, Blasky and Banfield, that you sort of feel like, okay, now, like, here we go, like, this is what it's.
Yeah,
sort
I
of
mean,
supposed
I
to
think those are things that come up in every season, and we got to handle those things and figure ways to, no matter who's available and what's going on. It's our job to figure out how to move the ball and score points. And at times we've done that, times we haven't. So, but no excuses for us. We are glad the bye week came when it did. Don't get me wrong, because I think that'll help us get some guys maybe more healthy. But at the end of the day, when the guys that are on the field, we got a lot of confidence in them, and we practice those guys and anticipate them playing well each and every week. And it's always good to have some guys back and some more depth for sure. But I think we got to figure ways to use the guys we have, and I think we'll be as healthy as we've been, obviously with the exception of Bryson going into this Virginia game.
In your past coaching experience, have you been through the depth of the players on the team and
I have. A little different scenario. Philip Lutzenkirchen, I've coached him in high school as a tight end, that signed at Auburn and played at Auburn. Was a great player at Auburn, and very close to him and his family. Dad was my Booster Club president. He had three sisters, and they babysat my kids, so very close. And lost him in 2014 in a car wreck. So little different circumstance from Tylee's, obviously, but yeah, it's tough. And I thought Coach Brown and Lonnie both, just handled themselves exceptionally well for that situation. And I know it's really hard. I've had to do that. And anytime you do that, it's something that weighs on you for a long time. And young people, losing young people early in their life is really sometimes hard to understand. And I know our team has been a tough week on those guys. And everybody in our program, but I do think it's something that we can all learn from his example. And Coach made that point yesterday as well as Lonnie, and I think he's had a huge impact on the Carolina family.
Just on that note, you're trying to lead your offense through prep for the rest of the season, but you're also leading a lot of these young folks through processing this group. It may be the first time a lot of them have kind of gone through something like this. Just Coach Brown was talking about that, but what's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what we're here for, to help them grow as people and young adults, and become successful in life, emotionally, career-wise, and all those things. And I think that's not been lost here. Even since I arrived 2 years ago, that's been our focus. Coach Brown's focus is to really be a great positive influence on these young people in their lives, and that's what we've really always strived to do and have done. And so I think some people handle things differently from the standpoint of how they process things. We all do, and you have to respect that. And I think the big thing for us as coaches is just be there for our players in whatever capacity they want us to be there, and help them understand it, because this is real life, and football games are always going to be here, and we want to win every game we play. But I think preparing them for life is kind of the number one thing we're here for.
What are some of the primary challenges that UVA presents?
Yeah, I think they're coached very well, very familiar. They're very sound in what they do defensively. They have a really fantastic linebacker, and really two of them, and a couple of really good D linemen. And it's not going to be a matter of hey, they're giving you a bunch of crazy looks, I don't think, and they could. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about us executing. We've said that, and really being consistent. And that's something we struggle with some, is being consistent and playing 4 quarters. We made some strides, I thought, last 2 weeks ago, last time we played. But at the end of the day, this is a good football team. They're very well coached. Their record is, I think, 4-3 now, and so they've won some games and done a nice job. And so for us, I think it's going to come down to taking care of the football, and really, no self-inflicted. We can't have, false starts and penalties and so forth, and take advantage of every opportunity we get in the red zone.
As you guys have gotten more and more into the league, do you find that, I understand the size of your tackles, your offensive tackles is great, textbook type size, but do you think teams have been able to use that or exploit that in terms of like some of the quickness stuff off the edges? Like, it seems like those guys maybe have gotten confused at sometimes.
No, I don't think so. I think it depends on what position the player was, outside or whatever, because it's all coordinated, right? Who blocks who and so forth. But no, I think our guys are just continuing to grow. I think those two tackles we have, they're big guys and long and so forth. But at the end of the day, they are young players, and they're trying to figure it out as we go and making progress. I think you look at Howard. I thought he played one of his best games 2 weeks ago against Georgia Tech. The last two, actually, he's improved tremendously. There's always a player or two you'd like to have back, but I like his progress. So, I mean, he's a young sophomore as well as Trey, and both those guys are improving each and every week. All right.
Let me ask about Barlow. Has he been healthy to finally
Yeah.
give you what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I
back
think
in
so.
August?
I think so. I mean, I think Bullets, Davion Goss has done a really nice job filling in spots, but you do have an older guy there that's played some that you got probably a little confidence that, hey, he's been in some games, he understands, and getting him back, I think, is huge. I know he was, back last time we played and was kind of just getting back, but he's had a good week, and hopefully we'll see him get some opportunities. All right? Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Chip.